is just a trade. With it, it becomes creation. The ASU Speech and Theater Department and ASU Theater Ensemble have teamed up to present our creations. We recently competed at the National Association of Dramatic and Speech Arts in Dallas, Texas. We were fortunate enough to place first in the Allen Williams One-Act Play Festival, presenting our spring production of Cries from Soweto, written by Miss Lisa Love, an alum of Albany State University. We were also awarded several other awards. Not only do we excel on the stage, we excel in the classroom. Some of our members have been recognized for their work in theater and the classroom by becoming members of Alpha Psi Omega National Theater Honor Society. Alpha Psi Omega is the largest honor society in America with over 600 chapters. And now, we would like to present the creation of the HBCU, based on James Weldon Johnson's The Creation, conceived by Dr. Mark G. Henderson, adapted by Mr. Deron S. Williams, and directed by yours truly, Tavares Wilson. And now, the creation of the HBCU.
And God stepped out and stood in the midst of those United States, in the homeland of the free. And he looked around and saw academic minds being molded in the hallowed halls of Harvard and Yale.
He saw them in their regalness, in their astuteness. But God said, the Harvards are great, but they don't cater to the culture of African kings and queens.
The Yales are wonderful, but they don't speak to the soul of black folk.
Not to mention their football games. Child, please.
And God said, I'm bored. And as far as the academic eye of God could see, whiteness covered everything. Whiter than the snow-covered Rockies in the heart of winter.
Then God turned his face towards the plains of Pennsylvania.
Then God smiled, and all the whiteness rolled up on one side, and Cheney University stood shining on the other side. And God said, that's good.
Then God reached out and took that light, that institution for colored youth, and God rolled it around in his hands until he made this nation shine with young black educators, teaching who many thought were unteachable. And he set those black beacons of educational sun ablazing through these United States. And the light that was left in the Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, God gathered them into a shining ball and flung it against the darkness of Lincoln, spangling the world of academia with Lincoln University.
Then down between the darkness and the light, he hurled a world of promise for American men and women of African descent.
And God said, that's good.
Then God himself stepped down. And Cheney was on his right hand. And Lincoln was on his left. The stars. Oh yeah, those black seeds that they nurtured were clustered around. And he held them in the hollow of his hands.
And God walked with them. He talked with them. And he assured them that they were his and he was theirs.
And as he walked, where he trod his footsteps hollowed the valleys.
And rolled the mountains up, created spaces and places for other HBCUs who would save generations yet unborn.
Then he stopped and looked and saw that the land inhabited by his great creation was cold.
Those northern winds blew, and even God knew that to be black meant to be very hot.
So God stepped down into the southern edges of these United States.
And he spat out alcohol and more hospitality.
He batted his eyes and Shaw was there. He clapped his hands, fists began to
See.
growth into the seeds that would stand the test of time.
Then the green grass sprouted, and the Booker T's and the WEBs began to take root.
And God smiled. And Howard appeared and curled himself around the shoulders of all the others. Then God raised his arms and waved his hands over the sea and over the land, and he said,
Bring forth! Bring forth!
And quicker than God could clap his hands, Joplin and Bennett, Mayhair, and Hampton had taken their places.
And God said, that's good.
Then God walked around.
Yes,
And God looked around at all the people. He looked at his Howards, and he looked at his Morehouse, and he looked at his Alcorn, and he looked at all the HBCUs and all their branches standing tall in a nation of segregation.
And God said, I'm still lonely.
Then God sat down on the banks of the Flint River in Albany, Georgia, where he was sitting. By a deep, wide river, he sat down with his head in his hands.
Then God think.
God thought and thought till he thought, I got it. I'll make a place where the people of Southwest Georgia can come together and educate each other.
By the banks of the river, he kneeled him down.
And there the great God Almighty, who created institutions of hope for blacks.
Who flung the stars from these great places to the farthest corners of the world?
Who gave new meaning to college football games?
This great God,
Come on now.
like a mammy bending over her baby, kneeled down in the southern dirt, toiling over it until he shaped it into one of the greatest institutions to ever change the mind and change a life.
Then into it he blew the breath of life. And all in the state
And we have only just begun to shine.
1903 to 2011, 108 years of history, heritage, and educational strength in what was one of the most unlikely places, Albany, Georgia.
From the vision of one man,
They have grown a university.
That offers education on a personal level.
From the mind's eye of one man.
They have come 108 years to charity.
And there lies an infinite future to fulfill. Amen.